Corey B. Rodnick, and welcome to Ask the Chiropractor. We have Dr. Tony here.
Pleasure being
from
here.
also Midland, Michigan, Dr. Tamara.
Hi.
And her daughter, Caitlin.
Hi.
Who we're going to be showing some chiropractic techniques, because a lot of people want to know what's it like getting adjusted, and we're going to be showing that later on in the show. And very excited to have you here.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. So you've been under chiropractic care how long now, you think?
Lots of years since I was like a baby.
Yes, indeed.
So how old are you?
I'm 15.
Yep.
So approximately
15 years.
years or so, give or take a day,
Yeah.
depending on your birthday.
No, give or take 5 minutes. 10 minutes, actually. 10 minutes, yeah. She got her first chiropractic adjustment when she was 10 minutes old. So, yeah.
So you think it's safe for a chiropractic child to, well, start over. You think it's safe to have children getting adjusted? A chiropractic child, yeah. Their mom's a chiropractor, but is it safe?
What do you think?
I would say yes.
Yes?
I mean, I study a lot, and when I look down at my books, my neck feels like it's stuck there. And sometimes I need help getting that fixed. And I also get a lot of headaches sometimes, and I don't know why. And then I realize my neck is out of place, so it helps.
Helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I know you had 1 or 2 kids, 3 or 4, maybe
5 kids. We have 5 kids.
That have all been under chiropractic care.
They were all checked out when they were first born.
So I didn't remember their names, but I numbered them.
Yeah. Number one, his neck was not affected in the birth process because he was breech, but his hips were
Poor
out.
Tushy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're checked, and if they need to be adjusted, they're adjusted, and if they don't need to be adjusted, they're not.
We had one that was just the head that was out, and the doctor had twisted the neck to get the shoulders out, and I heard this little infant baby, his neck went.
That'd be
I said,
Caitlin.
"Whoa!
That's what
Get out of
Caitlin
the
went
way!"
through, yeah.
And I said, "Let me fix that." Before he was even fully born yet, he was just a head at the time and a neck. I adjusted him, still in there and everything.
Well, I
And then
couldn't
I pulled
adjust
him out.
while I was having the baby.
That would have
but-
been difficult.
Yeah.
Unless you have really
That'd
long
have been a little
arms.
difficult, yeah.
And they face the other way. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. So they've been under care forever. The research, we should have much more research. There's a lot of research out there, but not as much as I'd like to see. I'm working on getting, I'd like the Michigan Association of Chiropractors to do a research study on kids. The International Chiropractic Association has a pediatrics council that has a lot of research done. But I'd like to see like a full state of Michigan doctors working with kids and doing a research study on that. Outcome assessment based.
That would
Something
be
like
amazing.
that.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to kind of get that going. I've been working on that for the last year and a half. But that would be significant and magnificent.
Well, one of the misconceptions is that that we're going to twist and we're going to crack on an infant, and that there's going to be all sorts of noises involved, and so parents kind of get terrified and get scared that, are you really going to take my infant and do all that crazy stuff to the infant? And that's not the case. And a lot of times when they see how an infant is actually adjusted, and a lot of times, as we all know, being chiropractors, that babies don't even wake up. They stay asleep. They smile. They coo. It's amazing things, and that there isn't a lot of pressure that's needed for an adjustment. It calms them down, and it's so effective, and it's so amazing for them.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the amazing baby adjustments that you've done that had huge effects. I mean, obviously there's tons of little things but I'm talking about like. I was just thinking about the peanut head babies, and I was just thinking about, some of these kids who are just terribly sick, or their eyes won't focus, they're in different directions, and, some of the cool stuff.
I had an amazing situation. It was actually quite a few years ago, where the mother did not actually go to full dilation before the baby was born. And when the baby was born, the baby was half purple, basically from the knees up, 3/4 purple. The baby had no circulation going through the body, and so the doctor was extremely scared and did, UV light and did all the crazy things and was hooked up to all these monitors and everything. And I actually got permission, went to the hospital and adjusted the baby, and instantaneously color started pooling throughout the body, and the normal color started coming to the surface of the skin. And this was right in front of the OB doctor, and he was just amazed, which gave me some good hospital privileges, which was nice. Came back, adjusted the baby a couple more times, and he did not have to go. They were thinking about sending him to, Claire was not equipped at the time with, neonatal or any of that kind of stuff, but thinking of shipping him out to one of the neonatal units, Saginaw or one of the other places, and he did not have to go. Mom was released from the hospital, he was released from the hospital, and everything was great. So, they were amazed. And, I told them that, there was nerve interference that was there, and without having that nerve interference taken care of, the blood supply was not getting to the proper limbs the way it was supposed to. And so that would probably be one of the most amazing newborn stories that I had. I mean, the baby was only a couple hours old at the time.
That was the blue baby.
That was the blue baby.
Blue baby.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah. So, and then the word got out about the fact that it was okay and safe and effective for infants to get adjusted. And what was nice was the doctor in the same town now understood what we do as chiropractors. And so there was actually a symbiotic relationship there. So it was nice because...
Which is so great.
Yeah.
We're getting more and more of that now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think it's very important to the patients.
Yeah.
It's not like, if you have a blue baby... I highly recommend immediately, maybe the hospital's a good idea.
Yeah.
Blue babies. It's a serious looking thing. I mean, it could be something extremely serious where you don't have a lot of time. But then after the emergency part of it's gone, checking the baby for subluxation is amazingly a great idea. Mm-hmm. Just a great idea. And side effect wise, we don't have any.
Side benefits.
We only have side benefits. There are no side effects.
Absolutely.
I mean, for years they were, people were negatively saying things about chiropractors, but pretty safe. Pretty safe. I remember in China, that was one of the big things when they had their meeting. There was about 150 medical doctors in the hospital, and they brought us in to let us know on the 5th day we were there what they thought of chiropractic. And they were talking about side effects, and how when they do a medication, they always want to make sure that the side effects aren't worse or it becomes a worse problem than the actual problem you started with. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're always weighing. He said, with us, there didn't seem to be any side effects. There was only what they called side benefits. And that was just unbelievable. And so we haven't got that out here yet, but it's coming. It's so coming. And, I mean, it doesn't replace the medical doctor. It doesn't replace, emergency care. It doesn't replace that.
Right.
But on the other hand, sure is healthy. Mm-hmm. A lot of wellness involved here. A lot of correction, and sometimes some of these things are very severe. But one that I was remembering is the peanut head. Because if the baby is born and let's say their neck is kinked like this, what'll happen is this side of the skull isn't totally formed yet. So it'll dent here to make the eyes even. Mm-hmm. So you have a baby with a peanut, like a half a peanut. Like the one side's like a peanut and the other side's rounder. And every time I see that, oh my God.
Actually, Caitlin was born with part of her head was flat because she was face up and they had to keep turning her with every contraction that I had. And I had taken her to a craniosacral chiropractor and had a lot of craniosacral work done. So yeah, it would have made a big difference when she was little and she would be sitting
she's
upright.
Beautiful now.
Yeah, when she was sitting upright, she'd fall over because one side of the head was flat. So it makes a huge difference. I just recently had a mom that brought a baby with torticollis into me that had torticollis for 3 months. And the doctor basically was to the point where they said, if we don't get this taken care of, we'll just cut the cord with the neck, and then that way the head will go
Cut the
back
muscle,
neutral.
the muscle,
The muscle,
yeah,
yep. And the tendon of the muscle. And, you know, she was, of course, very fearful and scared that they were going to take scissors to, you know, her baby and stuff. And so she brought the baby in, and, you know, it was probably less than 4 adjustments, and head turned, and
So fast.
so much better.
These babies
Yeah.
are just so fast. They're like
Yeah.
fixed so quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
What have you experienced out there?
Well, like you said, we raised 5 kids. Married to a chiropractor. I wasn't a chiropractor at the time. So they got adjusted regularly. They were some of the healthiest kids in their class. And then one time when you were out of town, our daughter woke up screaming with an earache. And it's like you feel so helpless not knowing what to do when your child is suffering. So I called a chiropractor who came over, so I didn't have to wake up all the other kids and drag them all out. And as soon as she got adjusted, she just was out of pain and comfortable and went back to sleep.
Wow. Very cool. Who was it?
Well, we only have one daughter, so.
No, I know whose daughter.
Oh, Dr. Percent.
Okay, got it. Okay. Didn't know this story. Okay. So anyway, very cool. What struck me, we were at Disney. So at the time, I drove to Disney in a car. Wicked. Nasty. 5 kids down to Disney. And he was, what, about 15 years old, my oldest son. And he says, now, we went to Disney. After we got there, we get there and we go to Disney. It opened at 9 o'clock, and 10 o'clock you could get in. You could go park at 9. So I'm there at 9 o'clock. We were there all day till the fireworks were over, which was, it's at 10 o'clock or 11, something like that. And then the next morning, my son wakes up and says, Dad, there's something growing in my throat. And I said, son, you might have a little sore throat because we just drove like 17 hours to get here, spent a full day at Disney, and this is now morning. We didn't sleep a
That
lot.
was the first time he experienced being sick.
He had never had a sore throat in his entire life. And he's talking about something's growing, like at that time it was Ghostbusters and all that was popular at the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's something growing in my throat. I said, no, it's just a sore throat. He didn't have the concept of a sore throat. This kid grew up that whole time. Like, I had sore throats when I was, not even 1, 2, 3. The whole time, my whole life, I was sick as a dog constantly. But he was fortunate enough never to experience any of that until I just totally wiped him out. You don't sleep for 37 hours. It can get to you.
Well, that's just like, she's been doing a lot of studying, and school gets harder as you get older, and so she's noticing what a headache is. I mean, up to this point, headaches were not something that she ever experienced. And the first time she got a headache, she thought her head was going to blow off.
My head's going to explode.
explode.
There's something in there exploding in my
Honey, your
head.
head is not going to explode. Let me check your neck, and
But what
sure
a
enough,
wonderful world it could be.
Yeah.
If all these kids grew up like that.
Right.
It's like, oh, man. Mm-hmm. Ooh.
But unfortunately, we find that there's a lot of kids that come into the office that think that pain's supposed to be normal, or that these things are supposed to be normal, and it's wrong.
So sad.
It's wrong. And what we have to do is we have to advocate and teach people and make them understand that symptoms are not telling you everything. They don't tell you the whole story, because usually the problem's been there a lot longer. So that's why we have to show people what it looks like on the inside. So
I know
and
Dr.
relate it.
Tony is going to the Arnold Classic here. So we're going to be working on, there's like 10,000 little athletes, give or take a few.
Yeah,
And,
quite a few.
so we set up a few
We're in
adjusting
the
tables.
gymnastics area.
The gymnastics area. So there's a lot of young kids. And they beat themselves up more than anybody. I mean, they're the number one accidents in schools is cheer. In the gymnastics and the dance and all that stuff. Not football, hockey, wrestling. I always thought that those would be the ones, but it's not. It's tumbling and gymnastics and cheer and that kind of stuff. And so we work in that department, and it's unbelievable. I mean, they'll do it 5 times, and one of the times they're going to wipe out. and then they come over, they get adjusted, and we send them back to go out and get wiped out again. And this goes on and on throughout the day. And we're there for 3 days of adjusting a gazillion people. Pretty cool. What do you
And
think?
those gymnasts, they got to really know it. Their brain has to really be in communication with their body where they are in time and space, because they're spinning around. And if they're subluxated, their timing is off. They're not aware of their positioning as well. So adjusting helps them perform better too.
Absolutely.
That's why we talk to all of them that are involved in sports. It's very important for them so that they understand that it also gives them the endurance too. I mean, if you're there all day and you're doing that sport all day, you're eventually going to get tired. That's definitely true. So, yeah.
I do bowling, so
That's
I
true.
would understand.
Yep. And if you had to, like, reach out for the ball for 8 games in a row, eventually your arm is going to get tired. You're
Yeah.
going to strain the neck. There's definitely things that are going to happen. You're going to subluxate yourself.
And bowling's a very one-sided activity, so you want to stretch the other way too.
Yep.
We don't want to even mention the low back in bowling. Don't even want to bring it up. Like, oh my God. Yeah, I've worked on professional bowlers, and they bowl 16 games a day.
Wow.
That's their norm. But they don't use the ball as much as we do. Like, we have to do 2 throws. They only do 1, get a strike, another one, get a strike. Where we do 2, plus warm up. I don't think they warm up much. They just 16 games.
She just did 5 last weekend.
Yeah.
That's a
Wow.
lot of games to do in a row.
That would absolutely destroy me.
They do 5
I would
to
need a
8 for
chiropractor
these
set up
meets.
with
Yeah.
me while I'm in the middle of that. 'cause
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually did adjust her at some point during her meet. So yeah,
Yeah.
Had a few looks.
You know, that's
few
a kind of an
spectators
unfair
there at that.
advantage, though. You know that.
Yeah. Well, I did her neck so that she didn't have a headache. But you know, I mean, you got to finish.
Unfair advantage, baby.
You got to finish. You got to
Hey,
finish.
so, you know, in the sports, they say we want the best socks, we want the best, you know, they take every advantage they can in sports.
That's
and
true.
You know what?
Well, the pro
Chiropractic
players,
is huge.
yeah, they all get adjusted during the game. Exactly.
Yeah, they do.
You have to.
It used to be a secret weapon. The Redskins used to say, we have our secret weapon today, we're going to win. And no one knew what they were talking about except us chiropractors. They go, you got a chiropractor in the back room. They figure, we got the unfair advantage now. Woo! We got a chiropractor. But that's how that went. So, children being adjusted. I remember I had a child who had a lung problem. And they were on antibiotics. This was the 3rd round of antibiotics. So adjusted him. He's totally normal. So that happened because another child had come in who was constipated for 2.5 years. Since she was like born, 2.5-year-old child, constantly going in for enemas to go to the bathroom because she never could go to the bathroom on her own. And I adjusted her first day, and right in the middle we were doing the lecture. We were teaching them what normal is, what abnormal is, how to look at x-rays, normal, abnormal, and then I was going to take them back and show them theirs. This little kid had, I got to go to the bathroom. And anyway, pretty cool. And mom goes, oh, she's crying, and mom's crying. She's never gone to the bathroom by herself like that.
We've seen a lot of that. I see a lot of constipation that comes through the doors, even in adults. You know, there's a lot of them that take over-the-counter prescriptions and have other prescriptions that they take all the time, and it ends up making them constipated. And so they're either trying to throw in a bunch of dietary fiber or other things, and you know, getting adjusted. They're like, wow, I can't believe how much easier this is on my bowels now. So yeah, it's amazing that way.
It is amazing. It's totally incredible. So, does chiropractic care then help with your studies then?
Yeah, it helps me focus better because I get stressed out a lot. Like right now, tomorrow I have a U.S. history test to do about Great Depression, World War I, and all that
Sounds
stuff.
depressing.
Exactly. Yeah, it does help me focus, and I get headaches because I have my neck all the way down. Look at my studies, writing, so it helps a lot.
I just put up in the office this giant what is that called? Some plastic
Fat
kind of
head,
thing.
yeah.
It's
Decals for the wall.
it's like decals, but they're like the size of me, and it shows the woman looking down and on her phone, and then it shows what it's supposed to be, and it shows where you're going to get
Pinch
goofed
the nerves,
up.
yeah.
You know, the headaches and the tension here in the neck and the shoulders. So that's becoming very common right now.
If you say the words text neck, most people know what you're talking about.
You're seeing more and more reverse cervical curve at a younger age because of the texting, because of the hunching over.
And think about how often you're on electronics all day long, and if you weren't getting adjusted, what it would be doing to you.
Kind of like my stepsister Molly. She texts 24/7 to her friends, her boyfriend, and she always complains to me how much she gets headaches.
There you
Well,
go.
posture is important. So if you're going to text, try to keep your body in a normal neutral position, like you're standing, and bring your phone up instead of bringing your head down.
You know, at the end, let's do, have you do a couple of exercises that would help to reverse that. And everyone who's got a phone, hang on, I got to get on my game real quick. Anyone who's got a phone and they're doing that, did you see the position my head got into? Immediately, right? Okay, so that destroys your neck. In case you were wondering if it destroys your neck, that destroys your neck. I'll demonstrate one more time with my other phone.
He just wants to play his game. We
So I
know
can
it.
play my other game. This is my wallet phone. And I'm looking, see what my head's doing? There it is. So you got to keep your head up and back. And so that affects you immensely. Some of these people say, God, I'm tired all the time. Once you get that reverse neck going like that, you're probably only functioning somewhere, if you're lucky, 40%, 45%, 35%, right in there. That means you're working 3 times the amount you were to do the thing you did.
Not to mention there's other things that will get affected over time, and people forget that this is why our upper extremities are getting affected, and all of a sudden your fingers are going numb, your thumbs are starting to cramp up all the time, and sometimes you're losing strength. People are noticing that they're not as strong to go lift a gallon of milk out of the refrigerator or whatnot, and it's affecting everything from your shoulders right on down. So
I love our grip tester.
Yes,
so you've been to
amazing.
bars where you have the guy with the grip. So we have that in all our offices, and it's a grip tester. We check the grips, and if one's real weak, and this is your right hand,
if one side is 30-pound different from the other side.
it's like, oh my God,
on your dominant side.
It's like
yeah.
super pinch.
Yeah.
There's pinch, not good pinch, and then there's super pinch. This is called super pinch nerve.
Right.
And yes, absolutely. And I just had a patient who we had to get his shoulder fixed. He was supposed to go in and have shoulder surgery, but they didn't want to do it because his neck was pinched so much, because it won't fix it until he gets his neck fixed to fix the shoulder. So he had to fix his neck so he could get shoulder surgery. From a car accident, he ripped everything up, but he had to get all this stuff put back together. But anyway, my point is, everything is affecting everything else. So here you are, you think you're okay doing that, but you're not. And a couple years later, it turns out to be something horrible and very measurable. Mm-hmm. Because, we do the grip test, you do a few adjustments, and then we do it again. We show improvement, then we do it again. It's much better, then we do it again, and it's gone. And very measurable. That's something easily measurable. Those are fun to work on anyway, muscle testing and that kind of thing. Yeah. So what other cool things on kids? So, we see a lot of kids. And they come in, it's usually about the third big fall is when I'm really paying attention. Like the first fall knocks it to the left, the next one knocks it to the right, and the third one knocks it somewhere in the middle. And so I've got bones all over the place. But kids fall a lot. They're learning to walk. That's a big time.
I had a toddler. This was quite a few years ago. I remember a toddler that the parents brought in, and I was really questioning the fact of why they were carrying this child in. Child had never taken any steps before. Never. 3 or 4 years old, if I remember correctly, and it was because of hip dysplasia. And they didn't know why the child wasn't walking, getting the hips adjusted. And I think it was within about a week of adjustments, the child walked into the office. So it was pretty amazing. There was no crawling stage. Went just from sitting to being carried everywhere. Never crawled, never walked.
So I asked to go back and learn how to crawl again. And all that.
Unbelievable,
that
yeah. So
crawling-
balance issues were there too, so yeah.
That crawling helps integrate different right and left brain
Yeah.
functions.
Yeah, so you have these adults having to go crawl. Anyway.
Yeah, they said, well, we can't get any answers from any doctors, so we're bringing her to you and hoping that you can find out what's going on with this. And I believe we did an x-ray of the hips, and we had the vest and all that stuff for protection, and that's when we found the frog leg view and found what was going on with the hips. So it's a long time ago, but I do remember that she wasn't walking. Within a week she was.
Yeah,
so.
I've had several of those like that.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
It's pretty
That's
common,
amazing.
actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, several-year-old child not walking yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so right away, something's got to be going on in there. And it's usually something, they go to their medical doctor for something like that, but he's not looking like what we're looking at. Their specialty is completely different.
Right.
And there's no antibiotic that's going to help that. There's no, you're not going to do surgery on this child either. You start wondering, is it something mental or something maybe like that? But, they'll outgrow it is usually the answer.
Well, and if the medical doctor doesn't find anything, then he or she's not going to refer to an orthopedist usually. So therefore, there's not going to be any further follow-up.
And they should be
So it's
referring
like-
them to us. That would be so
Right.
smart and so
Right.
simple.
Yeah.
Why torture this child?
Mm-hmm.
And or what if you never fix it? That kid's going to grow
But
up
then
totally
when you
weird.
do something like that and something like that happens, the word gets out pretty quick.
Pretty quick, right? Pretty amazing.
I remember you telling the story about the tiger and then everybody with the torticollis that came in after the tiger. See, the word gets out pretty quick.
So I get a call from a zoo. They've got a torticollis Bengal tiger. And it's only a few weeks old. And it's got its neck kinked like this. They were twins. And I guess the way they were wrapped in there, it kinked the one tiger's neck. What was it called? Anyway, remember the name of the
Layla.
Layla, the tiger, and so they fly this. So they brought the cat to a vet. The vet it's recommended a chiropractor. The chiropractor they went to said, you need to take it to somebody who knows this stuff and does this stuff more often. And I've been doing this for
a long time.
yeah, like what is it, 34 years or something, adjusting animals. Anyway, so
Yes.
it's pretty amazing. So they bring it over. I adjust this. First, I took it to a vet to make sure it wasn't anything weird. I don't know. I'm not a vet. And he said, hey, above all, do no harm. There's no harm in you adjusting this thing. I don't know what's wrong with it. It probably needs a chiropractor. So I adjusted it. As soon as I did, I used the activator. Tap. As soon as I did, its neck straightens out. It walks straight across the room, hits the wall, kinks its neck again, and now it's flopping on its back. It couldn't walk again. Holy cow. So then it was a Thursday. I took it up north. I have a cabin with a big room, open room. And we went there where the cat wouldn't hit its head. And doggone, that was something. And 3 days later, so anyway, the news, that got out in the news. I guess it was CNN and Channel 5.
Channel 5, yeah.
Channel 5 and CNN got a hold of this thing. They were running it. Like every 15, 20 minutes. Oh, you guys got to see this. It's so cute. The little tiger. and it was cute. And then, after that, it was like after every 15 minutes for like 8 hours. Then they did it every hour. Then they ran it every 4 hours or something the next day. So by the time Monday comes, I walk in on Monday morning. There's 7 new patients sitting out there like this. I'm like,
Yep.
where'd they come from? All over Michigan. Anyway, pretty wild. That was funny.
But if that's the way we have to get the word out, so people understand that, you don't necessarily need to medicate something. You need to get this checked further, find out what's the cause of the problem, get it taken care of. So,
What would you tell mothers out there to do for their children? How would you recommend that?
I would recommend having your child checked by a chiropractor. I would recommend doing research on anything that you're going to give your child. Stay more natural. Get away from the pesticide-ridden foods. You want to.
And sugar.
And sugar. Get it. Yeah. Stay away.
Cut down the sugar. Although I'm known as the lollipop grandpa, because every time I go to the bank, I ask for suckers. I go, here, kids. Okay. I've learned how to whip out like 7 at a time now. 7. Okay. Yes, continue. I'm sorry.
Just watch what you're putting into your child and make sure it's the healthiest kind of things.
And the alignment. We're going to show the adjustment in a few minutes here. And check the hands on your kids. Check the leg links on the feet. Make sure at least once a week or every couple of good falls, check them.
You look at their ears and their shoulders.
Yeah, you're going to talk about the posture on there, and that's very important. It's very easy. It takes only seconds to look straight on at the mirror and look at your posture.
Because if you see something and you can't fix it, Mom, Dad, take them to the chiropractor.
Absolutely.
Of course, we're the best chiropractors, but I mean, any chiropractor.
Any chiropractor.
You can take them to any chiropractor. Anyone who does that, corrects things like that. What would you recommend to all these parents out there in TV land?
Like Tony said, bring your kids to the chiropractor.
And it's safe?
Yeah, it's safe.
Does it make you feel better?
Yes, a lot better. I haven't been really sick, and it's winter time, so usually people start hacking, coughing, and sneezing because of the cold. I've kind of been immune of that, and I just asked Mom to adjust my neck, and I'm good.
There you go.
She takes extra vitamins, too. That helps her, too.
So
Keeps
we're going to
that
go
stuff
back
away.
and we're going to set up the table and we're going to do some adjusting. And hope you guys enjoy that. For what I have to say is basically, Mom, Dad, the most precious commodity that you have on this planet in this lifetime is going to be your children. Period. They're the jewel. Well, grandchildren. Start over. Grandchildren, the best thing out there. And that's how old I am, and I now have grandchildren. Way better than kids. But until the grandkids, my kids were my jewels. And my wife, of course, my spouse. But basically in life, that's been the most precious commodity that I have. And you want to take care of that. And so anyone out there who's afraid, what's it like getting a child adjusted? What's it like? Well, we're going to show you that. It's not a big deal. It's not a big scary thing. It's actually fun, nice, and all that. And again, later on after that, we're going to go do the exercises. So anyway, we'll see you back later. And this is Ask the Chiropractor. And you guys have a blessed day. Well, that was fun. That was
Happy
great.
talk.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for being on the show. Hi, I'm Dr. Corey Rodnick here. We're here to demonstrate a little bit about chiropractic adjusting. We've had a lot of calls, and a lot of people are asking, so what does it actually entail? What does it look like? Well, today we have a guest. Hi, Caitlin. Hi. Hey there. So we've been taking care of her since she was like a little baby. Not like a little baby, she was a little baby. So forever. And she's going to help us demonstrate chiropractic adjustments. I'm going to be explaining some things. And so for all the people out there who've never been adjusted and they have no idea what it is we do, I'm trying to break the veil for you and let you know that it's fun, it's nice, it could be a wonderful experience. All right, so first of all, I'm going to have you lay down. And what we do normally, and this is a chiropractic adjusting table. This is one of many types of chiropractic adjusting tables. And what we have is, this has drop pieces, which is part of a technique that we will be using. And there's other techniques as well, which we're going to go over in a minute. So the first thing I do when I come in to see a patient, I'll come in and we're going to palpate, which means I'm just feeling the back and I'm feeling where things are out of place. So I notice one thing is out of place right there. And there's also something out of place right here. Now, we have x-rays to determine that. We have, but I can just feel the bone out of place here. Spastic, tenderness. Is it a little sore right there? Compared to this one? Yeah, not bad. But again, she's someone who gets adjusted every time anything goes wrong. So, you know, if she has anything happen, she gets fixed before it ever gets bad. So, okay, the next thing I wanted to show everybody, and if you can get a close-up on this, you can see that this leg is shorter than this leg right now. Okay, so if you look at my thumbs or you look at the bottom of those heels, this leg is shorter than this one. And so when I bring it up, it goes longer than the other one. See how this one now is short? And this one's long. And the reason for that physiologically is just like if you have your hands here, if your hip is out of place, it would pull the leg up a little bit. And then as you're going here, this one's coming up while this one's already coming down. So that's why you get the crossover. So what we would do normally, so that would mean that this hip has gone like this, and it pulled the leg up, and this one's down, and it made the leg get longer. It's not like the leg is longer or not. It's that the hip being out of place makes that test appear shorter. Okay? So very simply, we would work on that. So we could adjust her laying on her side. We can adjust her with the drop table. So this is what the drop table looks like if we were to use that as the adjusting tool, okay, or laying on the side. Which would you prefer today, Caitlin? What's that? Okay, so I'm going to have you lay on your side facing me. And right now, so this is the hip that I have to bring downward like that, because it's up a little bit. So just relax right here, and it all just fell right in. And then we're going to have you go the other way. The problem with this is you guys are going to get a picture of me on this. So the best way, I suppose, to do this is going to be with me here. And I'm just going to get this real quickly. And it just basically falls right into place. Lay in your tummy. How was that? Better. Okay. Okay, so right now when I bring her legs up, they're even now. Hallelujah, miracles. Some people say, praise the Lord on that. But basically, there you go. Nice and even, looking straight down. It's pretty much pretty even. Okay, so the next thing I would check is turn your head to the left for me. Just turn your head, just the head. There you go, and turn your head the other way. Now, sometimes when you do that, the legs will shift back and forth, and that would tell me something. In this situation, it's not out. So that was the whole thing there. Let's have you lay on your back for me. This adjustment is known as the chiropractic hug. So I'm going to go like this. You're going to roll towards me just a little bit. And that one spot, I'm just going to breathe out. There you go. And it just went in. Da-da. And that's that. And another thing I want to show is when I'm looking here at the hands, I don't know if you guys could see this, but you see the thumbs here are not even? You see how one thumb is shorter than the other? So what we're going to do is we're going to unpinch that nerve, and we're going to allow the muscle spasm to stop, which is being pinched off from the left side of her, it'd be the medulla oblongata, which is that part of the spinal cord that comes out of the brain. As I take the pressure off of that, that's going to totally stop her from spasming on the whole right side of her arm. And so we're going to do that right now. Okay. And there you go. And there you go. Let me see your hands again. Perfectly even. Ta-da! It's a miracle. It's just normal, everyday chiropractic stuff. So there you go. And that's what we're looking at. Keeping everything in balance. allowing the body to heal itself naturally, keeping all the nerves working perfectly well. Let's get you up here. All right, Caitlin, we're going to swing around here. Okay, and she did just great. And that is what a chiropractic adjustment is all about. There's a lot of different techniques. Other ways we could have done it is with the activator. That's a different adjusting technique. So you've had this before, correct? Once or twice?
Yeah.
Couple thousand times?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. So maybe 1,000 times or so. But her mother is a chiropractor, and she's in Clare, and she's on our show, Dr. Tamara from Clare, Michigan, and so she's been under chiropractic care by me. Tamara's under care, and then Tamara's also adjusting her as well, and I've been adjusting her forever too. And although it's been a little bit of a while since I've adjusted you last, since your mom gets you all the time, but that was a whole chiropractic adjustment. So how long did it take? Once you know what you're doing with the patient, I mean, the first visit might be an hour and a half, 45 minutes, right in there. And the second visit's usually about that long. 10 minutes, you're done, 5 minutes. We find it, we locate the subluxation where the bone is out of place. We adjust it using either this technique, or the drop table technique, or the side posture technique. There's multiple ways of doing the neck. And any of these techniques are just all fine. Different chiropractors like their particular favorites. And, for me, I tried to learn as many possible techniques as I can. And I want to be an ace at all of them. So figure there's about 200 different techniques, and I'm probably excellent at 197 of them, but still room to learn. And I keep learning every day. But, I take seminars. I'm learning new things all the time. I'm teaching as well and lecturing. It's just a real fun thing to do, and it's a fun job. It's a real fun job. Totally blessed being a chiropractor. Anybody looking to be a chiropractor should give us a contact. We're on, rodneychiropractic.com. You could say, I'm looking to be a chiropractor. We do probably every 3 to 6 months. I have different chiropractors in the areas come down. We talk to students, and for those chosen lucky ones, I usually send to one of the colleges. Probably 3 or 4 every time we do one of these. I have tickets where they can go down to the school and learn from the school and see if this is what they want to become. So the idea here was to give you an idea of what an adjustment is like. That was it. For all of you at home, I'd like you to do a little posture checks. One, you can raise your hands up in the air, okay, and you want them to be even. You follow me? You go like that and they're even. That means you're in good adjustment as far as the neck goes. If you look in the mirror and you see like your head's tipped, that would be something that needs chiropractic care. Or if you go and one shoulder's higher or lower than the other. Go ahead, fake it for me. There you go. That would need a chiropractor. If you look at your children or you look at your spouse or you look in the mirror and you see this, please, please go to a chiropractor and find out if it's a pinched nerve or a subluxation, which is a bone out of place, causing that, and have it corrected. You do not have to have this. Okay? So we'll see you back in the studio in a minute, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you. Thank you so much for helping us out.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So that was a chiropractic adjustment. Thank you for coming on the show and allowing us to adjust you.
My pleasure.
And now, we were also talking with Caitlin. She was saying when she was studying, she hunches over and she ends up getting headaches. And I was comparing it to people texting or even with the laptop computer. And all these positions were kind of tightening the muscles in the front, stretching the muscles in the back. So I'm going to give you some nice posture exercises to help stretch out the muscles in the front and tighten the ones in the back to improve your posture, improve your spinal health. So the first one, we're going to call it the eagle. You're going to stand in an inner winter posture, so it's like stand tall, feet shoulder width apart, tighten your abdominal muscles, and then as you take a deep breath in, you're going to bring your arms up and your head back. So you're going to take a deep breath in and then stretch way up. We're going to just open the joints in our body, stretch up, and then as you breathe out, bring your arms down and your head back down to neutral. And then we're going to do that again. We're going to do this 2 or 3 times. We're going to do it 2 or 3 times a day, and just stretch up and open up all those joints. The second exercise we're going to do, we call the hummingbird. Again, you're going to start with inner runner posture, standing tall, feet shoulder width apart, tighten your abs, and bring your arms up. You're going to make backward circles with your shoulders. And as you do this, you're going to focus on the space between your shoulder blades. We're going to learn to tighten those muscles, and we're just going to make circles. And then we can, variations, we can tip to one side. And we want to do everything symmetrical. If you tip to one side, you want to tip to the other side. Again, focusing on the space between your shoulder blades, we're tightening those muscles and stretching the ones in the front. The third exercise, this is good to get more curve back in your neck. You're going to take your hands and clasp them, put them behind your head. But you're not pushing with your hands, you're pushing with your head. So as you take a deep breath in, we're going to push our head backwards. And we're going to hold it. You should feel it in the back muscles of your neck. And then as you breathe out, relax. Breathe in again, and put your head back. We're not tipping our head up, we're just pushing our head straight back and working the muscles in the back of our neck. Again, all these exercises, we're going to do it 2 or 3 times a day. We call them spinal hygiene, so our suggestion is do it when you do your dental hygiene. It just takes a couple more minutes at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, and you're working on your health because it affects overall health. Again, thank you for joining us at Ask the Chiropractor, and have a blessed day.